this is kind of a weird one. Most evolved player who's most changed, kind of like in high school, the guy who's like, you look at his freshman picture and his senior picture, is a totally different person. It's like not necessarily better or worse, just different.
Offense, most evolved player. And you want to say different?
Different, changed. Went through a metamorphosis of sorts. I have a name.
Okay, so you go with your name. You go with your name
go first. We can continue with you going first. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So my most evolved player is Deebo Samuel. He's not as physical as he used to be. If you look at his stats, I believe that if we're being fair, right, and I want to be fair to Tyshawn, that is a lot of his lack of physicality or the breaking tackles was looked at as him taking a step back. We looked at his stats. Deebo Samuel at one point during the season, he was clipping at 40 broken tackles last season combined. Moving into week 5 of the season, he had 2 broken tackles coming into the season. You look at the average depth of target that he was getting last year, it was in the 6-yard mark. This year, it's around 9 yards per pass play. So Deebo is getting deeper into the route tree. You starting to see Deebo take longer routes. Kyle's trying to start targeting him more in passing and in pass plays. And for me, you just don't see the now route, the slip screen, Deebo. I mean, even when he's in the backfield, now he's more running off. He's running more sweeps and more stretches. Before, Deebo was strong enough to run off tackle. They were running him literally off tackle as a real running back. So he's evolved. He's getting a little older. So you have to start looking at, Deebo kind of falling into his skill set as a receiver more so than what we are accustomed to seeing him at, which is more of a physical player.
I think that's a great answer because I'm looking at him right now. He's averaging 16.9 yards per catch.
So
he looks fast this year. He's been a home run threat, and he's only dropped 1 ball. So, like, to me, the evolution is he's not really a wide back anymore. He's not particularly effective as a running back. He's not just running through people, but he seems to have evolved and improved as a receiver.
Yeah, and that's something where
good answer.
Unfairly, I was a part of Deebo's falling off. Like, he's lost a step. He's not as physical as he used to be. Like, look, he's not even breaking any tackles this year. He's not catching the ball anywhere near the line of scrimmage. And I also saw at the time in the season the 16 yards a throw that he was getting. It was at 9 when I saw it, and it was much more than last year. For the entire season, I think he averaged like 8 or 6 last season. So for me, I'm starting to see that they're using him completely different than they have in years past. So yeah, it will be Deebo for me.
The one thing with Deebo is I think he has 3 touchdowns through 8 or 7 games or something like that, and he had 15 last year. So they need to find ways to get him into the end zone like they had in the past. I was going to go with Brock Purdy.
Okay.
Because, they took Christian away, and that's his security blanket. And I think he's kind of like Drew Brees in the sense that if you give him an elite pass-catching running back, he's going to be tough to beat because complements his skill set. But once you take that guy away and he has to face man-to-man coverage and throw the ball down the field to beat it, it's hard. And I think he's struggled with finding ways to beat this coverage without his cheat code. And he's finding ways to do it on his own, scrambling. I think he's really changed a lot as a quarterback. He went from a guy who was holding the ball a long time and trying to throw it downfield to now a guy who's being more decisive and scrambling. I think we see like a new version of Brock every week. It's kind of exciting to see.
Yeah, he is growing. He's got to find his own voice inside of the offense. My thing is that, there's just a crossroads when he's he can't find his voice if he doesn't have full ownership of the offense. So that's an if and when between him and Kyle.